Thank you very much, Nigel. As Nigel says, I'm Ian Singleton. I'm Head of Member Services. In a nutshell, it's my job to make sure that members get the most from their Socitm membership. And I got the pleasure this morning of setting the scene for this briefing. My title is Socitm's New Agenda, but I have to be honest, I'm not going to tell you anything new. We probably all know this, but it is something that we tend to easily lose sight of, and it's worth just having that reminder, especially as we're moving into the digital agenda. So let's go right back with, I don't even have to write it down, the oldest cliche. I know folks on education here, and we all know that it is the dog that wags the tail. It shouldn't be the technology tail wagging the dog. A couple more for you. We know that technology is just a means to an end, and technology is the enabler. These, whilst we all know, are never more appropriate than they are at the moment as we move into the digital, as we'll see as I go through this. So we do all know this, but the challenge in a way is how well do we know our dog or end, or what we are enabling. Now I'm conscious that's not the most elegant of statements, so I'll try and make it sound a bit nicer and introduce this bloke, who I'm sure you'll recognise, sadly not with us anymore, and he said this back in 1997, and in a nutshell, he says start with the customer problem, the customer experience, and work backwards. But let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Don't let anybody tell you that technology is not important. It is very important. Those people who perhaps maybe in the public sector are starting to say technology isn't the issue and pushing technology away and even getting rid of some of the technology people or heads of IT may rue the day. Technology is extremely important, but we have to make sure it stays in that context of understanding the problem it's solving, the customer need it's meeting, and the customer experience. Socitm has got a new agenda. We already knew this, but as we've looked to review over the last 12 months, we're starting to do things slightly different, and it is going back to basics. And we are basically saying we need to understand member needs and work backwards, as Mr. Jobs has put it. So I'm going to have a quick look at Socitm and the lessons we've learned over the last 12 months, and then come back to the digital agenda. Socitm has identified 4 key areas of benefits. Our website is going to go live in July. Our website is focused on those 4 benefit areas, and all our services are behind those. So we are driving everything we do now from member benefits. As far as members concerned, you'll be pleased to know we've recognised that this involves all sectors, so public, third and private sector. In a way, we want to make sure that we make best use of that technology as the enabler to meet those customer needs. And it is the digital, it is the IT leadership and the support that we give that's going to help that happen. Our services then are simply a means for members to gain benefits. We aren't now in the game of saying we're just going to sell whatever services we can sell. That's our focus. There's even admission there from Socitm that maybe in the past we haven't quite focused enough on member benefits, and possibly especially for the private sector. We have started now doing some more research to understand what members need. We are doing more engagements, we are listening more, we're discussing things more, and we are hoping to take it forward where certainly in the public and third sector, we can set things out to say, this is how you are going to realise benefits from Socitm membership. As far as the private sector is concerned, Nigel set up the Supplier Partnership Programme, and the same thing there. We're expecting that this will actually benefit the private sector, and as Nigel says, some of these briefings are going to help shape that. There's going to be a session with Nigel where you've got an opportunity to give us more feedback on how we can take this forward. As a starter, then we think that the lessons that we've learned there from Steve Jobs about starting with memories and working backwards is relevant to the digital agenda. So we'll just have a look at, see whether that can impact on your agenda. So is this your new agenda? I can ask the question, what does digital mean? I'm sure we could spend a few hours going around in circles understanding that. I could ask you, what does Socitm membership mean to you? Maybe not quite as famous as Steve Jobs, but here's a quote for you. Digital or Socitm membership means absolutely nothing unless it makes a known difference. And key there is known. Who said that? Well, I know there's a few people in the room that know who said that because they were here in Birmingham, because it's just something I said in Birmingham. So there you go. But I think it's an important point that we can't get hung up on understanding too much of digital. We have to know the problem that this is solving. Digital is going to be your opportunity to make a difference, to enable the outcomes that local authorities are looking for, to make the service they deliver more effective, and of course to identify those savings and need to know what they are. You need to keep the end in context with the means. The gap has narrowed. Digital is narrowing the gap between the customer and the technology. We cannot now just focus on the means. We have to understand the end, and so that we've got a solution. And the market is changing. There is that expectation. This is not just about having a solution, looking for a problem. You need to know exactly what problem you're solving with your technology. So the questions for you are, do you have a solution, or do you just call it a solution? Do you know the problem and a lot of depth about that problem that your product is solving in the public sector? And do you know how to present that to the public sector? If you know all that, then fine, go away from here and you'll probably be fine on your own. If not, maybe Socitm can help. So there's a question. Of course, I'm biased and I'm saying yes, Socitm can help. Socitm has people dedicated to look at the policy and research in the public sector. We produce monthly topical briefings of insight to the public sector. There's thought leadership. We've got regional meetings, conferences, masterclasses now, opportunities to collaborate online, and starting to build up a database of what members' areas of expertise, areas of interest are, on the roles that they've got. A wealth of information that can help you understand those customer problems and needs. So my simple message is that I hope you consider joining us in the Supplier Partnership Programme. You'll hear more about it for the rest of the day. And hopefully you'll get to know your dog. It's a nice corny finish for you. But that's setting the scene. I hope you enjoy the rest of the briefing. Thank you.